Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back once again. So I was thinking, since recently we have been playing a lot of the Skyrim Special Edition, it might be kinda cool to try out some kind of Skyrim inspired build, and this one in particular is based off a piece of concept art that I saw. And you'll notice it is very similar to, say, the houses you would see in Solitude. And although this build looks very similar to the concept art, I still have tried to change a few things here and there and also add some stuff in maybe some areas where I thought certain bits of detail were lacking. And speaking of that, I think the first thing you're going to notice that I chose to add was this wheat field off to the right hand side. And the reason this is here is because although at first I was planning on making this just a very large house, I think in the end it got a little too big, to the point where I more so wanted to make it some sort of tavern or inn. So that being said, I thought they might need some sort of food source that they could produce on their own, along with another way to import goods that maybe other people have caught or are willing to sell. Now, a lot of those goods are going to be stored over in certain shed-like areas that are kind of undercover or maybe just tucked off to the side, so that's kind of what you're seeing right now. Another location where this is the case is over by where the servants would enter, off to the left. And by the way, right above this is the main entrance for, say, the owner of the tavern or even all the customers. Then last but not least is where some of the larger goods would be brought to, since this is indeed where the much larger door is. And by the way, the interior of this build is not done yet. I think I was going to save that for a later video, just because once again, originally I wanted this to be a house, but then as I got further and further with the exterior, I ended up changing my mind. So that's why I'm putting that part of the build on hold, at least for now. But I think what I'm going to do with this back area is maybe try and build a few wagons over here and also try and make some sort of path or even a larger road that kind of winds its way around the wheat field, so that way the wagons can actually get there without having to go through any mud. But for those wondering, the reason for the wagons would just be to transport some of the larger boxes or even barrels of wine or mead that realistically couldn't fit through the much smaller front door. And really quick, since we're over on this side, I figured I would give you guys a closer look at the main piece I had to add that the concept art didn't really show off. So if you're trying to maybe build this on your own or do something like I did where you kind of replicate the concept art and are, I guess, out of ideas for what to put on this right side, this may be something you want to try. But other than that right side, I think the picture did a very nice job at kind of showing off all the various sides. So I'm pretty sure I got this area on the back to look quite similar, along with the main entrance and the front as well. And another thing I really enjoy is how the roof turned out, and this was also another piece of the build that I tried changing up just a little bit. So I threw in an extra window on the back, and also tried to make some of the smaller roofs a bit more curved. Although I guess if you really wanted to, you could try a similar technique and use that on the big one as well. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, but for those wondering, all these extra blocks you're seeing, like the round barrels, or even some of these more boxy crates and crows, these are all made possible by the Conquest mod, which adds loads and loads of new blocks. And honestly, if you're on PC and have the option to get it, I would definitely recommend it. And for those on console who can't get this mod, just trust me when I say there's usually always a decent alternative. But I'd say as for the exterior, at least for now, that's pretty much everything. And for those of you who want a download to this map, I'll make sure and have that up as soon as we finish the interior. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and check it out really quick, just so we can kind of see what we're working with. Now, notice I did start this just a little bit, but once again, I didn't really enjoy how it was turning out, and I also wanted to make it more so a tavern rather than any sort of house. So this is all going to get redone in the future, but if you guys have any ideas for some stuff you might want to see me try on the interior or even the exterior, feel free to let me know down in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. But anyways guys, I think that'll just about wrap things up for today. Hopefully you did enjoy this Skyrim inspired build. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one.